Welcome to the Brie Pod. I'm here with me, Brie. So, last time we spoke, we talked all about shit you don't say to pregnant women. And after that, I received a lot of amazing messages from so many people that told me their very unfortunate stories about what was said to them um, and how they felt. But something that came to light that I thought was beautiful that I had to highlight on um, was one of my friends said that if there was something she could tell other women who are pregnant right now, she would let them know that she didn't hear it often enough. But when you do meet your bundle of joy, it is a beautiful, beautiful gift. And you just are glowing. And it made her relationship stronger. And I'm not saying a baby makes your relationship stronger, it's just how it worked out. Um, for her, she said she looked at her man completely differently. And I mean, not completely differently. She loved him, obviously, but seeing him as a dad, that was like a beautiful role um, that made her love him even more. And she said, not a lot of people tell you that there are good things about, you know, pregnancy and giving birth, and there are good things that come out of it. Because a lot of people will tell you all the stuff that's scary, but they don't say have the joy parts. And I'm not saying everything is joyous, everything's rainbow and butterflies, but it was nice to hear someone say that there's beauty in it. And you're gonna, have so much fun and just basically just keep track of yourself too, because you have to think about um, postpartum that could occur. So just really checking in. Um, and also talking, I had the other advice of having someone that you trust as someone that you could talk to just keep your mental health in check in case you do need to get help. For example, I have told my therapist and my husband that if I give off any signs that maybe I'm unaware of during that time after birth, to just please let me know because when it comes to postpartum, it's very important to uh, get it treated and or to really seek help. Um, so I plan on keeping my therapist in my life. Not that I was going to get rid of her, but one of the biggest things that I've told my husband is out of all the things that I have, I need to keep therapy just because I want her to be able to recognize if I'm acting differently and maybe I don't realize it. And just checking in with my mental health. So I plan on keeping my therapy sessions going the way that they are. And I told Jeremy as well, because I trust both of them, to just keep an eye on me, especially Jeremy, since we live together. He's going to be able to, um, notice a change in um, my behavior, my attitude, anything. Um, and I mean, I don't know a lot about postpartum, but I want to be prepared because I do know that mental illness is a genetic thing that runs on uh, both sides. We don't really talk about it often, but it is something that's pretty huge. And I do believe that need to be in check um, and prepared for it. And I'd rather address it and talk about it than keep it hush hush, like, oh, and I do believe really that everybody has a form of mental illness in their genetics, in their life, in themselves. Um, but I think it's important to um, be in touch with that and just be able to recognize when you're not feeling good. I mean, you're gonna even be able to tell, like, when I was going through a moment of depression, I did not shower for a week. I did not want to get out of bed. I only got out of bed because I had to, for work, and I wore the same clothes for a week. And sometimes it's longer, sometimes it's shorter. It all depends. But and it all depends on what triggered that. But it's something that I don't want to hide, because one thing that I've learned about secrets or not being in touch with yourself, and what I mean by that is not being honest with yourself and being honest with the fact that you're not feeling good, um, or trying to basically not let people in because you're afraid of being a burden, or, you know, all those different things. I just feel for myself that I've learned that by being open and honest with not only me and the people that I trust, it is better for me and it helps me more so in the long run. So when it comes to thinking about postpartum, I get a little nervous because I do have a tendency of having, like, I mean, before I was even pregnant, I was talking about how I believe I have PMDD. And this is something that um, we are really watching and addressing in therapy as well, because I noticed that my mood changes, especially when it comes to hormones. And when hormones are fluctuating, I feel like my hormones have always been off in some manner. Um, and I noticed that I'd get more angry around that time. I get more depressed around that time. And so I really do believe that PMDD is something that I suffer from. Um, it's different being pregnant because I feel like that's with the whole premenstrual. So right now, I don't know how to explain my emotions or how I feel, because it's been kind of like a roller coaster. Like, the first trimester was not great, as you probably heard in the episode of, I think it was called Mental Illness in the First Trimester. Um, it wasn't great. That week of not showering was during that time as well. The not feeling good about it. I was trying to find the parts of pregnancy that people were saying was exciting, and in the first trimester, I really wasn't finding any of that at all. Now in the second, I feel like it's a lot better. But I'm preparing myself because, like I said, since I had PMDD, well, I say had because, the period has been gone for a little bit, but it'll come back. But since I've had PMDD, and then with the emotional roller coaster of the first trimester, which is when your hormones are really fluctuating to get you even out there, uh, I am a little worried about it. But I'm taking precaution. I am going to keep you all posted on it. I don't want to keep anything a secret, because there are people that suffer with a lot of these things that I'm talking about, and they suffer in silence. And I've learned that being silent and keeping a secret from yourself or from other people, it just ends up coming up in a different manner. Your body reacts to it in a different way. For example, anytime I have a flare up with IBS, um, I can tell that it's around the times that I've been more stressed, or this past weekend when I ate horribly. That is why I'm having a flare up actually recently. But I'm not as stressed. Um, I'm actually feeling okay. I'm in planner mode, which might be just the control side too. But I'm in planner mode. I'm getting ready for everything that I want to see happen and do. I've planned out with my mom my baby shower. I'm planning out the maternity shoot, which it's almost pretty much ready to go, with a really amazing photographer, like we talked about before. Um, and just getting everything ready, especially since next week is the gender reveal. Woo woo! I'm super excited for that. Um, I can't wait to see the predictions that you guys share with me. I did a tester today on my Facebook, and I had a lot of people say, girl. So I'm very curious to see if you are right or wrong. Obviously, I know, but I'm very curious to see what the results are. And I'm so excited to finally see this anatomy scan of baby because I'm ready to see the beautiful face. Um, but anyway, I did kind of go in a circle. This is what happens when I do the podcast episode by myself. I tend to go in almost like I'm talking to a friend. And this is literally how I talk to people. Basically, like talking, it's like you're talking to a squirrel, and I'm your squirrel friend. Anyway, so I've been focusing on a lot of this stuff. Um, I'm not trying to say, yes, like, I'm preparing because I know I'm going to have postpartum or anything. I'm preparing because I'm aware that I have mental uh, emotions and things that need to be watched or addressed. Or at least I feel that they are important to me to be watched and addressed. And I've only asked the people that I trust to really keep an eye on me. Now, just because if you're listening and you're close to me and I didn't ask you, doesn't mean I don't trust you. It's just I think it's very important to have a small circle, especially when it comes to your health and being my therapist and my husband. I feel like those like Jeremy's with me all the time, so he'll be able to recognize it. And in therapy, she has seen the highs, the lows, the in between. So that's why I feel very comfortable with the two of them. And I also don't like burdening people with me and my issues or what I feel or all these things, even though I have podcasts talking about it. I just don't like I don't know, talking about this stuff, I guess, on a level where someone has to feel responsible or something. Um, and I think that's important, when you are doing this for yourself. If you are, it's okay if you're not. But just even when you're checking yourself, and when I say checking yourself, I just mean asking yourself, like, have I felt this way before? Am I sleeping more? Am I not eating enough? Like, it's just checking in with yourself and how are my thoughts? How do I feel? And I've been reading a lot of blogs from women that have experienced different things when it comes to pregnancy, and they talk about the things that people don't talk about. For example, there's this one girl, and this is kind of why I guess I like decided to really take a moment to watch myself on um after having the baby. But basically, I was reading this blog, and this lady or this woman was talking about how she suffered from postpartum depression, and there were thoughts that she had of like wanting to squeeze her baby. And she said that she felt so horrible for feeling this way because, I mean, it's squeezing your baby. That's scary as hell, I'm sure, to have that thought. And she went to her doctor and she talked to her doctor about it, and she felt so guilty for thinking these thoughts, but the doctor that she had was a really good, understanding doctor, and had explained to her that she could be suffering from postpartum. They did all the stuff that you need to do for that. I do not know. I'm still learning so much on this journey. And she said that not a lot of people talk about it. But then in the comments, there's like a bunch of women coming in and talking about how they also felt that way and how they felt guilty and how they were scared of themselves from those thoughts. And the doctor, I think, told this girl that only a 99% chance that you will actually um, ad- go forward with those thoughts. But I mean, I don't know the real statistics or how accurate that is, but I'm not saying reading this, I'm thinking that this will happen. But what I'm saying is that these are the things that are not talked about because it's taboo or it's like people think you're crazy or you're losing it. But the thing is, postpartum depression is real. It can be very serious if left untreated. Um, and people are afraid to admit what they're thinking or how they're feeling because they're afraid they're going to get sent to like, you know, a psychiatric hospital. So obviously, I'm not trying to say that this is like, I know for a fact this is how I'm going to feel or this is going to happen, but I am learning about it so that I know what to look out for. And I'm learning about it because um, I don't know. There's, of course, a 50% chance it happens or it doesn't. And I'm not focusing on it so intently where I'm trying to manifest it into my life or anything, but I want to be prepared. So I guess I'm preparing for pregnancy in a very different, not a different way, because there's probably people that are prepping like this too, but I'm not prepping in the most normal way, I guess, that you would think I am in other directions, I guess. Uh, because I'm not reading any books right now about having a baby. I'm not reading any books about giving birth. I'm not doing anything yet under that stuff. I think right now I decided that I just want to embrace this second trimester while it's lasting because it's been kind of nice. And I'm just trying to get out and see and do while I can because the first trimester had me home and feeling sick and always needing to sleep and I couldn't do anything. And so this trimester I'm finally getting out. I'm seeing, I'm doing. We went to Canada over the weekend. We had a really great time. I overdid it food wise and ended up hurting myself because I still have IBS. I don't know why for a moment I was like, I don't have it. No, I do. And it came in strong. But with that being said, there was still a good time. We really enjoyed ourselves and we're gonna go back because there's a lot of hiking that you can do. And there's some really cool spots that we were obviously weren't able to do. But I mean, when you only get a day in a new place, it's never enough. So we're gonna probably have to go back more than a few times. Um, and then we went to the Tulip Town, which is a huge, like, very big event over in Skagit Valley, Washington. And unfortunately, it's normally, I guess, like I want to say she said like a 5 acre piece of land with a bunch of tulips. But there was a drought this year, so there was really only like an acre of tulips. So we didn't get to see as many as Tulip Town is known for, but we still had a really good time. We took some photos, and inside their building, they had this beautiful mural that goes along really mostly throughout their building. In this area, there's the food area. There's the place. It's like the gift shop, but then there's like this cute little area in the back where they've got tulips in there, and you're just admiring the mural that this person created, which is so beautiful. So that was really fun to see, and I really enjoyed my weekend. It was nice to get back out there. I mean, I've been doing that the past few weekends, but it's been nice to actually be able to go and do. And I'm trying to embrace it because everybody's like, you're gonna be in pain soon, you're gonna be uncomfortable. So I think that's why I'm not worrying too much right now about what birth is gonna be like, what I need to do for the pain of uh, you know, carrying the baby as you get closer to the end. Um, and just more so looking at my mental health, but truly, even before being pregnant, I was constantly monitoring my mental health because I needed to. Um, and I've been learning that self-care, which I actually posted this recently, self-care really shouldn't be just after a bunch of chaos you went through. Self-care almost needs to be like a daily practice, and it's hard. It's not easy to do self-care all the time because we get so busy and we think of all the other things that we have to do. But it's so important to give yourself some form of self-care because there's this quote that I posted and basically it was talking about how a lot of us are actually doing aftercare and not self-care. And it's a big difference because aftercare is basically when you finally decide to look out for yourself after you've gone through some trauma or chaos or triggering events. But self care should be used all the time. Even if you're feeling good, should have some kind of self care. Now, self care does not mean it's just like you're buying things and that's self care. It's just things that make you feel good. It could be listening to music. Um, I know this one girl who will go for a drive, put her music really high, and that's her version of self care, which I actually agree with that one because that is also one of my favorite things to do. Um, or, well, it used to be because I don't really drive much around here, but when I was home, it was definitely my favorite thing to do because I knew where I was going. Here, I kind of know, but not. Um, but listening to music is something that I do by myself. When I just need some, I don't know, you just want to feel it out, or it could be anything. It could be treating yourself um, to your own manicure at home. It could be self care of just affirmations. It could be the tapping that we learned a few episodes back with Veronica. It could be drawing. It could be coloring. It could be writing, journaling. Like all of these things are self care. I know another lady, she pulls tarot cards in the morning and journals about it. I know some girls that meditate. Uh, sorry, I keep interchanging. Just women that, meditate. I know some men that do meditation or Tai Chi. So there's so many ways to basically address self care, but it's important to not wait until trauma has hit and then you decide self-care is good for you because it ends up becoming aftercare. And um from what I've been learning, like it's a beautiful thing to learn whatever lesson you are needing to learn or changing different things that you need to, for example, putting up more boundaries, taking boundaries down, whatever way you're going with it. But um but you really need that self-care in as a norm and not just for aftercare. So that was actually a cool thing that I learned this past week. And it showed up in my life in a big way because what I thought when I finally actually was starting to care about myself, it was after a traumatic, well, not a traumatic event, but it was after a huge trigger thing. Um, and then I was talking to my therapist about this. We were talking about how, self care can happen before um, everything gets bottled up and explodes. You gotta have it. Um, Sorry, I did like hop a lot of topics here, but I just wanted to share a little bit about what I've been looking at, thinking about, what I've been going toward. Um, and of course, next week is the gender reveal, so I'm impatiently waiting to share this with you guys because I've kept it not from everybody. I've told people, but I've kept it for so long and I'm so impatient. I'm literally staring at the stuff I have bought that I want to share and show, but I haven't because I'm trying to behave. Ugh, I'm horrible. I just want to say it right now. But like I said, if I accidentally give it away in these episodes, I'm not going to take it back. I'm not going to edit it out because that's not fair to you. That's on me. So, I hope you guys stay tuned for next week's amazing episode of the gender reveal, and I'm going to be sharing the letter I wrote to my child um, before I even knew I was pregnant, and I'm going to share um, basically my quote unquote premonitions of my child because I've had some the past few years actually. So it's going to be cool to share all that with you. And of course, this gender no, no, no. The ultrasound from the gender scan. I'm super excited to share that because last time we saw baby Herto, they were just a tiny little peanut, or they look like a little peanut, and I can't wait to see the face. And I'm very curious of what this child will look like. Like, all these thoughts, you know? So, anyway, sorry for the roundabouts, but at this point, should I say sorry? I feel like you guys are used to me now. But I love you guys, and I look forward to talking to you next week. So, with that, you are loved, you are worthy, you are cherished, and I am proud of you. Until next time, on the Pre Pod.